Hello, Scrappy Peeps. Susanna here today for Ellie's Studio, and I'm sharing with you this 2-photo layout of our cat Luna using the new September kit and add-on. So I have used the digital cut file as well as, well, two of the digital cut files, as well as the two new stamp sets that are available this month. So I am using the Thankful paper stack, and because it's a Halloween layout, I really want to focus on the colors, the orange, the yellows, and the greens, because those are the colors that are in my photo. And so I'm going to have a 1-inch strip down the bottom. You can see that I'm going to paper piece this because I've gotten rid of the red and the blue there. So just the 2.5 really of these strips down the bottom, and I love the way that that ties the color of the whole layout together. So that footer border that I will put there, in a way this is a grid layout. It's kind of going with my breaking out of the box grid series per se, not an official series, because it's literally very boxy, but you can see how I use elements to break that box up. So these photos are of poor old Luna in a pumpkin animal. It's probably a small dog costume, and the only way I was able to get pictures of her is because she was sitting, we plopped her on top of her cat tree, and she was afraid to move. These two, Luna and Jasmine, are not quite as cooperative with the costumes that our previous cats have been, but she was a good sport here with her little pumpkin. So you can see I've got two of the cut files here. So I've got the Trick or Treat cut out of black, and then I also have the bats that I put in various sizes, also cut out of just plain old black cardstock, and I'm going to use those for the black contrast to the black that is in the photos here. So I have pulled, you can see scattered about my workspace here, I have pulled multiple of the cards from the kit that are the 4x6 and some of the 3x4s that are either relevant to Halloween and or that have the green, the blue, and the yellow in them. And so you can see how I am, because I've got the 1-inch border down the bottom and then I've got the 4x6 photos, I now only have 3 inches of space up the top. So I've got, and the Trick or Treat is about that 4-inch height, which is why that 3x4 card fits on the right hand side there. And I'm going to use these black bats as a visual triangle that moves your eye throughout the page, as well as that black contrast to the photos there. I've got a strong contrast element going on in the page because I have the opposites, the black and the white there. And you know me and my white space, I like to actually have that white space there. I also have printed the print and cut labels, and I chose to use the labels with the wording on them. So you can see I've got enjoying this up top, knowing full well that I want black letters or orange letters that's going to say not enjoying this. And then the green label down the bottom says, remember this. So ultimately, I am also going to have a second visual triangle that goes with the black visual triangle of the green label. So you've got not just the black contrast, but you have that you have all of the cluster that the black is within. So I used my fine tip applicator there that's on my liquid adhesive to get that Trick or Treat stuck down to the page. And I want to sprinkle a little bit of color within that black and white, again, just to break up sort of that black and white repetition that can be kind of monotonous as it goes across the page there. So lots and lots and lots of labels to choose from this month. You have those thin label stamps, and then they have some coordinating dies. You also have the September labels to choose from. There are also labels within the print the printables, and then of course the labels that always come in the kit as well. So also available this month are the super awesome Halloween die cuts. If you go over to my reels, you can see all of them spread out. I kind of throw them up in the air and then have them land in a organized landing where you can see what is available over there. And so I'm going to use some of these again just to add a little more color to the page, a little bit more visual interest. This is a very busy page for me. I tend to be rather clean and simple in my scrapping, but it's still clean, and it's just I have stripes of color, patterns of color that complement the stripes that are down the bottom there. So you can see the 3x4 card that has the pumpkins on it. I added the orange strip that says Halloween up above, and then that little XOXO and that's black down below. Again, going with my color theme and keeping that consistent there. So this month you also have some super awesome Halloween tab stamps. That's what I'm using here. You have some jack-o'-lantern faces, and so I'm using that on the pumpkin that is pre-printed on the card. You could also just stamp your own pumpkins. And I wanted to incorporate the actual tab itself into the layout, but I already have a fair number of circular elements, and what I really need with that in that circular, the polka dot paper up the top, is really more other elements. So I have Eek and Boo side by side, and I just repetitively stamp that across just for the continuity to kind of close off that white space so you just don't fall off the top edge of the page there. And then I also stamped it down the bottom underneath This Was Fun, which again I'm going to use a pen and insert not in there because you can tell she's a little bit miserable. So that costume tag from the Halloween set, somewhat reminiscent of way early back when days. That's kind of made a resurgence. I love it though, and I love that it's not white, so it adds a little bit more visual interest and contrast to the page. So here's where I want to use the stamp to get that green in. That lighter green was a hard green to match, and I end up going with one of my Catherine Pooler stamps there. You can see the first one that I stamped wasn't quite right, and so I went with, tried another color there, and that is a much better match. And then I am going to cut that out with my Big Shot and have that lighter green. So you can see that I'm able to get a bigger variety of the green in, and it was important to get that lighter green because that lighter green is also somewhat similar to the green that's in the collar on Luna's pumpkin costume, and I wanted that in the top there to just pull everything together. I will off camera also use one of the green label from the September label. So you have they're long skinny labels, and I will put that at the top right underneath the Eek Boo where I've got the date for of 2021. These are pictures from last year. So I'm using some of the fall or autumn chipboard there. I had the original circle of the O, and it just looked like a bullseye. It wasn't, it didn't work. But that chipboard piece fits perfectly over that green circle label from the kit. And so, again, just breaks up that monotony of the black, white in the letters. I could have backed the letters, but then that would have been too much color in there. In this particular case, right? Check out some of the other Design Team gals' use of the Trick or Treat cut file. I think a lot of us used it this month, but it looks absolutely phenomenal backed. So that is why I didn't back mine, is because I needed the black and the white contrast because I've already got so much color elsewhere. So this is me trying to piece together an L and make that into a T because I'm out of T's, and it ended up being a little short, and it still looks a little short, but I'm okay with it. I'm just going to go with it because I don't have the time to spend making it perfect, nor do I really want to waste the letters, and it's more about the memory keeping, right, than it is perfection, or at least that's what I'm trying to tell myself. So sprinkling in here some of the stars that are in the kit, in the Halloween die cuts, as well as these chipboard pieces. There's also some super awesome, check these out. I love these, and I love that it's the classic Elle Studio Heart and Stars, and that come in fall colors, because historically these have always come in primary colors, right? And so now you've got a little bit of pattern in these, as well as I love the Elle Studio Fall. They're some of my favorite kits that come out every month, because I just love the richness of the colors. So still bright colors, but rich, and I love that. Also, you have these really awesome candy cane Jane Tile Alphas, and that's where I'm going to stick the green label, is underneath those. So you can see I stamped one of the jack-o'-lantern faces in the pumpkins on the right. I want to do that on this left-hand side pumpkin. I am also off camera going to go to my sewing machine, and I'm going to zigzag stitch above that orange banner that says Halloween, as well as above this. I'm just going to straight stitch above this that pumpkin that I will stamp the face on as well. So you saw my 3 there. I'm looking for a third bat, and where I'm going to put that, which I will incorporate into the page as well. And so you can see that the 3 bats, the visual triangle, which also happen to have the 3 green labels, you'll see that in the close-up where the third one falls into the equation there. So that is my first layout that I'm sharing with you using the September kit and add-ons. Super awesome. If you haven't picked it up, be sure to head on over to the store. I'll link you in the description box down below. Enjoy the close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well, and come back again soon. Take care.